I have this terrarium in my living room. I kind of nestled it in between these bookshelves, these like built-in things that we did in here. And obviously, there's no like plants in it yet. One day, I do want to fill it with like actual plants and use it for its intended purpose. But I thought it would be fun to kind of like decorate it every like season or every holiday. And so far, even though it's been here for over a year, I've only decorated it for Christmas. I'll see if I can find a picture to like put that in. But I just kind of got lazy with it and it's sat here empty for the past 9 months. So today I just want to decorate it and make it cute for fall. Before I started, I had to stop at Michael's to get a few things. So I got that tree and I thought these pumpkins would be really cute. I picked up the orange and the white. Here's a quick overview of the supplies I'm working with. I already had a lot of them, but I did have to buy some things. Now you're seeing me cover this floral foam cutout that I already had in terrarium with some white paper. I want to be able to reuse the floral foam for future decorations in the terrarium, so I just wanted to cover it with some white paper and paint that brown instead of painting the actual floral foam brown. I'm going to be covering this entire surface with that moss you see right there, which is why I decided to paint it brown because I knew there'd be a little bit of that base peeking through, so I thought it would look better brown. I bought these leaves and they're like a fabric material, but they're very thin, so I thought I was going to be able to use this hole punch to make like little mini leaves to spread around, but unfortunately I actually just ended up breaking the hole punch. It was way too difficult, so I just decided to cut them kind of randomly. I think this actually worked out better because I still was able to get them really small, but they're like a more unique shape. Here they are all cut up, and then my cat came in and wanted to say hi. Okay, getting back to it, I tried to just like pluck these pumpkins off of the wires, but as you can see, it kind of like ripped some of like that paint off the bottom. So I just cut them instead with scissors. It is like a wire, but it wasn't like too thick, so it was fine. The paint was finally dry, so I started to glue down the moss. First, I tried to use this Gorilla Glue that I had, but it really like was not working very well. So I switched over to hot glue and just started filling in as much as I could. I was trying to like spread them out kind of thin. I'm gonna fast forward through this part just because it gets a little tedious, but I had to stop and show you guys there was a fucking earwig living in the moss. I hate those things. Little pincher bugs. Do not like them. Anyways, I gathered myself and got back to gluing. And then I just kind of went back in and filled in some of like the bigger gaps. There wasn't too many, and I kind of liked the way the brown looked peeking through, but I just filled in some that I thought were just a little too big. And this is me showing my hands were like dyed green from touching the moss. And this is how it came out. I chose a spot to put the house. I put it a little bit further back to have more of like a front yard. And then I laid out these little like multicolored stones that I had to make like a walkway. I decided to put a pumpkin patch in the front yard as well. So I'm just playing with like the layout here. And then I put in the tree. It's kind of wonky, but just ignore that. I thought it'd be cute to paint the grass brown in that area to look more like mud for the pumpkin patch. So that's what I'm doing here. I just kind of laid out those popsicle sticks like as a guide. And then I added a cute little pumpkin next to the tree. And here's what we're looking like so far. I thought the pumpkin patch would look better if it were like fenced in, so I used some popsicle sticks and some toothpicks to just glue together these little fences. And here I'm just testing it out, make sure it actually works, which it did. So I made a few more and I just cut off like the top of the toothpicks. Of course, I had to paint them brown as well because I'm just painting everything brown in this video, I guess. And here are my final fences and me putting them in. I started with that back one and just stuck them into that floral foam with the toothpicks. I didn't glue them or anything. But then I did glue down the pumpkins themselves, just in this like alternating pattern. And this is what we have so far. Not sure if you noticed this earlier, but obviously this house is like Christmas themed. It's just something I picked up from the thrift store. So I decided I wanted to paint it to look more of like a barn vibe. So I'm mixing together this terracotta and red color for the siding. I was trying to be like aesthetic with this painting, but I'm just like not very good at it. So I ended up skipping after this little clip. Here is what that looks like after the first coat of red. And then I'm mixing up the color for the roof. I started with black and a little bit of gray, so it was like a softer black. I think I add more gray after this, and then I just decided to add some white because it was just not lightening enough. Again, with my attempt at an aesthetic painting video for the roof, I do think this one is a little bit more satisfying than the red. But I still just ended up skipping to the end and showing you what it looks like here. I didn't like how the windows were yellow, so I mixed up some white with a little bit of blue to repaint those. And this is how it came out. I also ended up painting that door yellow and the trim white. I painted those wreaths silver to kind of try to look like those like metal house decorations that people put up, but there's not much I could have done with them. And finally, it was time for the last step to start sprinkling these around like fallen leaves. And then my cat came back and wanted to say hi again. And then, of course, after she came in, my dog also wanted to come in. So here is my dog saying hi. That's still my cat, but just wait for it. And my dog will be here any second. There she is. And back to the project, I finished sprinkling those leaves around. I wanted to use a lot, just to like really get those like fall colors in there on top of that green grass. And here is the final look. I think it came out so cute. The scale, I guess, is a little off. Obviously, like the pumpkins are massive compared to the house, and like the tree and everything, but you know, that's fine. It's art. It's for a little terrarium in my house. It doesn't really matter. I love how this came out, and in the next clip, I'll show you it in the terrarium. And here we have the final look inside the terrarium. So you could see like little pieces of glitter on the inside from the Christmas decorations still, but yeah, I think it's really cute. I love the way it looks in there. I did forget that the floral foam would be showing at the bottom there, but whatever, it's fine. And yeah, here's like the overall look of it in my living room, like inside the built-ins. I do usually have like a light up there, but we took it down to spackle, and then those shelves are not decorated fully yet, so just ignore those. But yeah, I think it came out super cute, and I want to decorate it again in a few weeks for like Halloween, maybe like a graveyard or haunted mansion type vibe. So yeah, we'll see. Stay tuned. Bye.